We are just east of the Thornapple River, peering through the woods at a stalled CSX Q335. The train has gone into emergency on their downward run into the river valley, and the conductor is walking back to find the problem. They have 197 cars today, a true monster, but not uncommon these days for this train. Nearly 2 miles up the hill at McCords, the conductor has found the train split in two at the 151st car. After surveying the damage, the train is pulled ahead over the crossing where the issue is revealed. That's right, the whole coupler box was ripped right from under the coil car in the 151st position. With it came the brake line and uncoupling lever, all still hanging from the rear coupler of the 150th car. This catastrophic failure must have been waiting to happen, as in railroad couplers, 3 pieces are designed to break first. Ordinarily, the first to go is the knuckle and pin. Second, the pin that holds the drawbar into the coupler box, and third, the drawbar itself. In this case, the coupler box must have been weaker than intended for it to be ripped right from the coil car frame. The events that set this failure into motion are uncertain, but we can be fairly confident that it wasn't slack being pulled out by train handling, the number one cause of coupler failures. The train is here on the Thornapple grade, a long steep slide down to the river. The train was likely in full dynamic and maybe a little air, bringing the train slack completely scrunched together. What they theorized happened was an event, maybe a crossing or some other debris, that caused the airline to be lifted just enough to cause a momentary loss in pressure and begin an emergency application near the rear of the train. This may have caused the rear to be violently pulled taut, with that coupler box being the weakest link, potentially at the greatest point of stress as the train line was pulled out. Whatever the cause, the conductor and another CSX crew member were unable to knock the coupler free from this gon and unwilling to try to drag it in town, so the decision was made to tie that car down and take the now 149-car train into Grand Rapids. Meanwhile, an extra train was called from Lansing to come and retrieve the rear end of this one, which it took back to Ensley Yard. There, the coil car was scrapped on site. Back at the head end, the forward move has brought the power out onto the Thornapple River Bridge. With the conductor back in the cab, they start forward at restricted speed. This is in the rulebook as a precautionary measure in case the emergency application caused unnoticed damage to the train or the track. Unfortunately, this means the 149-car train will be ascending the steep hill from here at the river to Fox at low speed without the usual advantage of a running start. Halfway up the hill at milepost 141, the 3 units are struggling to keep the train moving at not more than a crawl. With the power working hard at low speed, the leader and especially the trailing C40-8W are looking a little bit like steam locomotives. Looking down the hill at East End Fox, just a half mile from the last location brings the train onto the steepest part of the hill. Mercifully, the rear has just cleared the restricted zone, so they begin to gather a little more speed towards the summit of the grade. Thankfully, after cresting the hill at Fox, everything is downhill to Sunnyside and Wyoming Yard. Between Godfrey and Plaster Creek, we catch them one more time as they glide to the yard with the train at their back. The crew is no doubt glad their day is over after putting up with a 197-car monster which broke apart and forced a restricted speed attempt at Fox Hill. Thanks for watching this episode of the Thornapple River Rail Series. For more great railroading action, be sure to subscribe and like Thornapple River Rail Series on Facebook.